What's up, y'all? I was popping. About to react to this video by T Nor. This is when allies pass their plays. This should be an interesting video. We're gonna see what she's talking about, but apparently it's about non-black influencers and how their behavior is a bit questionable. That's what I'm assuming it's about, looking at the thumbnail. But sure, we're gonna see what she has to say. Let's watch.
I'm back to chime in and give my 2 cents. Mispronounce that. So after watching the post that I was tagged in, I realized that Hannah actually had quite a few videos that would be pertinent to this conversation. So I just took a little bit from each and piled it all together. Let's take a look.
If you grow up in a hood where people talk proper, then that's all you know. That's how you're gonna talk. Whether you're white, black, purple, green, blue, it doesn't matter. Not all white girls are all no. Like,
I mean,
if we grew up in the hood, we grew up in the hood. We ain't acting black. Like, we're acting of a product of our own environment. That's how we are. Y'all's culture, y'all's hairstyles, y'all techniques are really an inspiration to me. Like, honestly, I don't mean no disrespect when it comes to the black girls, my black queens or whatever. Y'all be on my head when I do box braids or edges or anything, like, but y'all don't realize y'all should be worried about the white girls that aren't giving you guys y'all's credit when it's due. Take it as a motherfucking compliment, because y'all black girls be looking so cute.
Alright, so before I get to the core of her message, if I could just offer up one little bit of advice. You see that rainbow part?
Whether you're white, black, purple, green, blue, it doesn't matter.
Kill that. I break out in hives every single time a white person starts talking about the contrast between the white and black experience, and they feel the need to start listing off every color of the rainbow. That's just like, you might as well just go ahead and put 3 Ks at the beginning of your username. It is so unnecessary. We're talking about me and you. Me and you. So there's no need to bring up red and blue and green, because red and blue and green people don't exist. And when we're having real conversations and you start to bring in imaginary factors like that, when you start using phrases that begin with it doesn't matter if you're, it minimizes the disparities between our experiences, and the disparities are what we're trying to emphasize. Like, that's the whole point of the conversation. But moving on, her videos take on a
I don't agree with that. I got what she was saying. She's saying that, you know, whatever color you are, and people use that just, you know, it's just a figure of speech. Red, orange, purple, like, they're just basically saying, like, whatever race you are, if you grow up in a certain area and that's how everyone speaks, you're going to naturally speak like that. So I didn't think anything was wrong with that part of what she said.
Very similar tone to the comments of my Black Scent video. I got quite a few comments from non-black people asking me if it was okay for them to use AAVE because that's how they spoke in their entire life, because they grew up with black friends, or because English is not their first language and they learned English through internet slang. Wow. I am not the online ambassador for the domestic Negro caucus. I don't know if I gave off that impression, but I'm not. I cannot grant you permission on behalf of
they're gonna do it anyway, so what?
To do anything. In fact, wow, I'm so happy I brought this up. No black person can grant you permission on behalf of all black people to do a problematic thing. Not me, not your black boyfriend, not your black teammates, not even Beyonce. And I'm not just talking about Hannah. I'm talking about all allies who feel as though they're exempt from being called out for appropriation. What you need to do, you need to do some research. Yes, ma'am. You need to catch up on the readings, okay? First, you need to find out the history behind why this problematic thing is problematic in the first place. Why do black people not like it when you specifically say that word, or when you specifically wear that hairstyle? Once you find that out, you need to decide which is more important. Doing this problematic thing because your intentions are good, or choosing to stay in your lane and not potentially disrespect the community of which you claim to be an ally. Which one's it gonna be? But circling back, Hannah made perfect sense when she said she cannot control the way she speaks because of where she's from. Like, she was on the money with that one. This is why gatekeeping AAVE is impossible. That's why I said in my video I have absolutely no problem with non-black people learning and even casually using AAVE for the purpose of appreciating the dialect. But again, whenever black people like myself start complaining about it, what we're trying to get you to do is pay attention to the integrity of its usage. Your intentions are pure if this is your natural dialect.
Yeah,
they are not if you're only using it to sound funny and gain more followers. They are not if you're taking our terms.
That's what a lot of influencers do.
And putting them on t-shirts and selling it for a profit. address that real quick. A couple weeks ago, Ashton Baez, who is a popular, well-known creator on TikTok, announced that he was going to start selling merch with terms on it such as, and what about it, as you should, and did. Now, of course, Black Twitter did not take too kindly to that because he's trying to monetize off of a culture that he didn't create. He was called out for it, specifically by Faloke Aina, and here was his response.
Hey y'all. So it has come to my attention that people think that I am using AAVE and having a black sin of some sort to profit off of the Black community and take away from their culture and appropriate it, which that was never my intent. I would never mean to do that. I'm sorry that y'all feel that way. But this is just who the fuck I am. But yes, I do understand their anger and their concern because Black people have been oppressed for years. That being said, this ain't a front, bitch. This is who the fuck I am. Hi, I'm Ashton Baez. I'm sorry, y'all. Love you.
I want to see her.
I don't believe a lot of these people.
I want to see if I was powerful enough to twist her mind.
Let me tell you what I heard. Hey, I totally understand why you're upset. And if it was anybody else, it would make perfect sense. But it's not just anybody else. It's me. So you're just gonna have to be upset about it. You're just gonna have to deal with it. Love you though. Somebody send help. Because I don't know how many more times we're gonna have to explain this. Like, I don't know how many times we're gonna have to spoon feed this to people. But I'll say,
why do it then?
You adopted our culture.
I got something to say.
You were not born into it. You became popular because of our culture. You did not popularize it. The rules of appropriation can still be applied to you. You are no exception. Your close proximity to Blackness does not erase your whiteness. And if you were a true ally, you would understand that. And you would not try to disregard the concerns of...
But it's interesting that she's saying if you were an ally and calling these people allies. Like, at what point did they say they were allies? Like, why are we assuming that they are? I don't know him, so maybe he has, unbeknownst to me. But that wasn't mentioned in his little...
Black women who you claim to love so much. Instead, you would listen and act accordingly. But you know, I have a feeling you're not listening to Black people. I have a feeling you're listening to non-Black people who try to disregard the origin of these terms and write it off as internet slang and then justify you doing it like this. So Brittany Broski, it's your turn, baby girl. Come to the floor.
I feel like it's a very fine line between genuinely calling out a creator that's using AAVE or the Black scent for like putting it on for comedic purposes versus like quoting something. You know what I mean? Like the Nicki Minaj thing of big boobs, child, anyways. Like that's a meme, obviously. So when someone's quoting that or when someone says like period, cis, whatever, snatch, all that, it's very much like internet culture.
No,
but it's kind of like collectively as a generation, this is how we all see.
See, that's why this is why I don't like to bother myself with this type of shit, because it frustrates me and I get upset, and that's just not the road I want to go down. I've been there, I've done that for many years of my life, and I'm at a point where I just choose peace and I just take a step back from all this shit, because shut the fuck up. Like it makes me mad. Like, what are you talking about? It's internet. Ain't no fucking internet slang. Y'all got this.
It's kind of how we all speak.
I was in my room walking home on my way to work.
How we all
and my
speak.
mom, and I was hungry as fuck. So my grandma went in the kitchen and started making some sense. Because my sister lost her virginity again.
The thing is,
What?
oftentimes allies, and I would actually consider Brittany to be an ally. Sometimes when you get super close with a community, you start to feel comfortable enough for fly passiones. They start to feel like they can speak for us. Let me give you a personal example. In my early teens, I was obsessed with Lady Gaga. I spent a lot of my days communicating online with other Lady Gaga stans. And as many of you know, her fan base is comprised of many LGBTQ plus members. And because I felt I was an ally of the gay community, because I stood up for them when necessary, I keyed with them, you know, and one of my best friends who I actually went to school with at the time was an openly gay male. Because of that, there was a point in time where I felt comfortable using the F word.
What?
Not fuck, the other one.
Why,
Now,
though?
I wasn't just throwing it around willy-nilly and calling people that. But like, okay, for example, there was this hat that I always wore that I loved, and it had a rainbow and a unicorn on it. And I used to call it my swag hat.
What?
Bro,
That is
I
wild.
had to realize the same
That is
rules that
really
apply
ignorant.
to bigots and homophobes
I'm glad
and
she
even
realized that.
neutral people. The same rules that apply to them, the same words that they can't say, that applies to me as well. Even though I'm queer. Wow, I really should have led with that. Even though I'm part of the LGBTQ plus community, I'm straight passing. Or, I mean, maybe not anymore ever since, you know. But before that, I was straight passing. I was a very feminine presenting woman, and I only ever openly dated men. I've never had to fear for my life simply for being queer, and thus, I've never had the F word weaponized against me. So it's not my word to reclaim. Just like baby hairs and box braids are not Hannah's hairstyles to reclaim, just like AAVE is not Ashton's dialect to sell, or Brittany's dialect to make exceptions for. Are you following me?
Yeah.
We appreciate the love that people like Brittany and Hannah and Ashton have for the community, but at the same time, there's still a lane that you have to stay in order to stay respectful, regardless of if your heart is in the right place or not. And in return, you get to be white in America. I was watching a great video by Asante the artist called How to Be a Good Ally, Identity, Privilege, Resistance, where she gives some great tips for how to use your privilege for good. And I think those tips can be applied not only for non-black people who want to be good allies of the black community, but for straight people, for able-bodied people, neurotypical people, wealthy people. Everyone can learn something from that video. Also remember, allyship is earned. It's not something that's just automatically given to you simply for not hating us. And there's an art to it. You have to learn the delicate balance of when it's appropriate to speak up and when to just listen. When black people are bothered by something and you don't really understand why, like Brittany or Ashton, instead of gaslighting us and trying to invalidate our feelings because it doesn't make sense to you, research. Google is free, yes, even after all these years. Stop asking me what is allowed and what is not. Watch my video. And if it still doesn't make sense, watch somebody else's video. Read a book. Listen to a podcast. Yeah? Let's put this to work. That's it, really.
I do agree with most of what she said, and it is just insane how a lot of these non-black influencers, they get so popular and just reap all of the benefits of using black slang. And it's just crazy how much of an impact black Americans have on the entire world. Like, our slang reaches all over, and it becomes such a normal part of life, you know, that people on the internet are using it everywhere. But y'all know where the fuck it came from. Stop playing stupid. That white girl talking about, oh, this is internet slang. Bitch, you know, you know where this came from. Stop playing games. And I feel like a lot of black people, they are frustrated when they see this because you don't see many black people themselves getting popular off of using their own slang. Like, you don't see a lot of black influencers who are just like, yeah, bitch, and da-da-da-da-da, and they're popular because of that. I don't personally see it. If there are a lot, you know, let me know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But when I'm thinking of influencers who do this shit, they be non-black. The first person that popped in my head when she was talking about this is Bretman Rock. His whole persona is based off of the stereotypical black woman. His bitch and no and motherfucking and period, and he acts like, you know, a typical hood chick. And it's like, you grew up in Hawaii though. Like, where'd you learn to talk like this? And yeah, I guess, you know, he could be online every day, all day when he was a kid and he picked up on it that way. But I don't even think that's as natural. That doesn't click for me, because things I see online, I'm not automatically implementing that in my day-to-day vocabulary and using that with people. I don't feel like that translates well. I don't trust that. I feel like it's very deliberate the way that a lot of these people talk, and it doesn't feel natural to me, honestly. If you grew up in a certain area and you're hearing that all the time, and that's how your family talks, that's how your friends talk, then that is more natural that you would start to speak that way. But just seeing it on the internet, like, even if you online all day, every day, I don't know if I can say, yes, that's how you're going to automatically talk just in your everyday life. I don't know. Maybe that's the case, but it just doesn't seem like that is a natural thing. So yeah, I feel like they do it very deliberately because they think it's cool and they think it's cute. And the world seems to think it's cute as well because they get really popular off of it. They're getting millions and millions of followers talking about period, bitch, and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, black people get frustrated because it's like, wait, this is our shit. And then you're trying to write it off as, oh, this is just internet slang. Like, seriously? So that is frustrating. So I totally get where she's coming from. There's just a disconnect with me personally and all of this because I've already been there and done that. I spoke about this many times, but I used to be super pro-black. I mean, I obviously still am pro-black. I am in support of black people. I want black people to win. But I'm not as deep in it as I used to be because it brought me a lot of frustration. It made me very angry. And I was talking to people till I was blue in the fucking face and they just still were not getting it. I feel like some people, they don't want to be educated. They want to say what they want to say and live how they want to live, and they don't give a fuck about who's offended by it. And they'll play stupid like, what? What's happening? I don't understand. What's the problem? They know what the fuck the problem is, you know? So people like purposely play dumb because they want to keep their privilege and they don't want to give up what they're receiving in benefits. Like if they came out and said, yeah, this y'all slang, and we stealing it, we using it, yep. Like, you know, people aren't going to be that receptive to it. It benefits them more to play dumb. So there's a disconnect there because I'm like, listen, if y'all want to go on and fight the good fight, hey, I support y'all, do you, but I am explaining to no goddamn body about how they should wear their hair or how they should respect appropriation. I'm not doing all that. I've done it. And it's very fucking exhausting. And ultimately, people are not stupid. They know what the fuck they doing, you know? But yeah, this is still interesting to see. I'm not surprised. I feel like this will continue to happen because, yeah, they're benefiting from it. They're making money from it. They're going to keep stealing our slang. It is what it is. It's like, hey, what can you do? I just choose peace. And I'm focused on my own shit in my own life. And I ain't got time for all this extra shit because it is exhausting when you think about it. It is upsetting. It's like, wow, where are the black people who are using black slang getting super popular? Where are they? Why the fuck is Bretman Rock got his own fucking MTV show talking about bitch, yeah, period? Where are the black girls who actually talk like that? Why aren't they receiving that same praise and that same attention and reaping those same benefits? It's like, it is fucked up when you think about it. So I get the frustration, I do, but you just gotta pick your battles. People gonna continue to do what the fuck they want to do, and it just is what it is. But anyway, this was a cool video though. Y'all let me know what y'all thought, and I'll see y'all on the next one.